Hey there and welcome. Today we are going to totally master English conditionals. I'm talking fast, simple, and in a way that's actually going to stick.
All right, let's just dive right in with a question. If you could master one part of English grammar, what would it be? Did you catch that? The question itself is a conditional sentence. And trust me, they are everywhere. That's why getting these down isn't just a nice to have, it's a total game changer for your fluency.
So here's how we're going to do this. A simple roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the basics. What even are if clauses? Then we'll walk through conditionals of certainty, imagination, and even regret. And at the end, we're going to pull it all together. It's a really clear, step-by-step journey, I promise. So, what are we actually talking about here? Well, these conditional sentences, the if clauses, they're basically the building blocks we use in English to talk about possibilities, causes, and results. And we are going to break them all down one by one.
And here they are, the whole gang: 0, first, second, third, and the mixed conditional. Seriously, think of these as 5 essential tools in your English toolkit. Once you've got a handle on them, you can express pretty much everything, from simple facts to your biggest dreams and, even your deepest regrets. All right, let's start with the foundation, the really solid stuff, the conditionals of certainty. These first 2 are so crucial because they're all about the real world, things that are always true or super likely to happen.
First up, we've got the 0 conditional. This one's easy. We use it for general truths and scientific facts, the always true kind of situations. If the condition happens, the result is 100% certain. No doubt about it. It's a sure thing. And the formula? It's beautifully simple. It's just if plus a present tense verb, and then another present tense verb. That's it. If this happens, that happens. Every single time. For example, the classic scientific fact. If you heat water, it boils. You just can't argue with that, right? That is the 0 conditional in action. Okay, so now let's build on that and move into a situation with a little more possibility. And that brings us to the first conditional. Now we're talking about real, specific possibilities in the future. So this isn't a universal truth anymore, but it describes something that's very, very likely to happen if a certain condition is met. And the formula just shifts a tiny bit. It still starts with if plus the present tense, but the result part uses will plus the verb. So it's like, if this happens, this will happen. See? It's pointing to a likely future outcome. Here's a great example for you. If you study, you will improve. This is a real possibility for your future, right? A direct and super likely consequence of your actions. Okay, so we've covered reality. Now, let's get hypothetical. Okay, now we're shifting gears and moving into the world of imagination. The second conditional is our tool for talking about all the cool stuff: dreams, wishes, and hypothetical situations. Basically, things that are not true right now, but we can totally imagine them. It all comes together really nicely on this one. So first, its function is for unreal or hypothetical situations. Second, the formula. We use if plus the past tense, and that's our signal that we're in imaginary territory. That leads to a result with would. And finally, the example. If I had more time, I would learn more languages. But what's the reality? Well, I don't have more time right now, so it's just a dream, a hypothetical. All right, so from imagining the present differently, we're now going to travel back in time. This next set of conditionals, they let us look back at the past, often with a little bit of regret, to explore how things could have been totally different if only one little thing had changed. Okay, so the most important thing to get about the third conditional is that it's all about an impossible past. It's about things that did not happen. We're imagining a different past. And since we can't change it, this is the exact structure we use for talking about regrets. Now, the grammar gets a little more complex here, but the logic is totally solid, I promise. We use the past perfect in the if part, that's had plus the past participle, and that tells us we're talking about an unreal past. The imaginary result then uses would have plus a past participle. Let's see what that actually looks like. This is such a clear way to see that regret. If you had practiced, you would have scored higher. But what's the reality? You didn't practice like that, so your score wasn't higher. We're just looking back at an alternate past that never happened. Okay, now for the really cool part, connecting the past to the present. And now for the mixed conditional. This one is seriously powerful because it connects two different time frames. It takes a hypothetical past situation and links it to an unreal present result. For instance, think about this. If I had studied harder in school, I would be a doctor now. See what's happening? The past condition, if I had studied harder, is linked to the present result. I would be a doctor now. It's such an awesome tool for connecting our past choices to our present reality.
Whew! Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So now it's time to put it all together on one master slide. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet. This is that aha moment where everything is just going to click into place. And here it is. Look at that. We've got the zero conditional for pure facts, then the first for real possibilities in the future. After that, we jump into the imaginary world, the second for our present dreams, the third for our past regrets, and finally, the mixed for connecting that past to our present. You can really see the progression, can't you? The zero and first deal with the real world. The second, third, and mixed, that's the unreal world. It's actually a pretty beautiful system when you see it all laid out like this. So the theory is clear, right? But here's the real question. Are you ready to actually put this into practice? Because let's be honest, understanding something is one thing, but true mastery, that only comes from actually using what you've learned.
And hey, that is the logical next step. If you're looking for some fantastic ways to practice, a great resource is IELTSbattles.com. You'll find all sorts of stuff there, mock tests, grammar lessons, and even a ton of free resources like flashcards and games to really make your learning active and, well, fun.
So let's end with one last thought, using one of our powerful new tools. Here it is. If you had known all this 5 minutes ago, what would you have written differently? It really makes you think, doesn't it? And that is the power of conditionals. They let us reflect, imagine, and understand our world in a completely new and much deeper way.